This is because we cannot find sufficient evidence to link him with the said offenses, considering the fact that we are faced with so many inculpatory and exculpatory evidence for and against him, and the statements of those that implicated him were full of contradictions. And apart from the contradictory statements, we could not find medical evidence to prove that the death of the deceased person was caused by the act or omission of the suspect. The law is clear that where the available evidence is in favor of the accused and another against him, it creates doubt, and doubts are always resolved in favor of the accused. Contradictory statements also create doubts. It is our considered view, therefore, that the allegations that he kills people by whatever means cannot be substantiated. It is our opinion that only the 8 to 12 suspects will be charged with mischief by fire under Section 336 of the Penal Code as amended. By this release, we iterate the stand of the Ministry of Justice, Kano State, to ensure that it carries its statutory functions of ensuring ultimate dispensation of justice, equity, and fairness, irrespective of who it favors. We at the Ministry of Justice are invariably guided by the findings of the investigations of the police as contained in the case diary sent to it from the FCID, divert of sentiments, fear, or favor. Thank you very much. May 2023, in respect of case against Alasan Ado Doguwa and 14 others. The above mentioned case diaries were submitted to the Ministry of Justice on the 19th May 2023 by the Commissioner of Police, Kano Command. Facts of the case: this deals with the case of criminal conspiracy, mischief by fire, and culpable homicide, which was taken over from Kano State Command following the directives of the Inspector General of Police, Homicide Section, 4th CID, Abuja, for further investigation. The facts are that on the 26th February 2023 at about 1500 hours during the collation of results of the Presidential and National Assembly elections at Tudunwada, Doguwa Federal Constituency, it was alleged that one Alhassan Ado Doguwa, a member representing Tudunwada Doguwa Federal Constituency, referred as the first suspect, conspired with his supporters of APC, namely Bashir Dahiru, Bala Meirodi, Nazifi Asnani, Abdullahi Alaramma, Nafi Musa, Hamis Ahmadu, and others, all at large, and conducted themselves in a manner calculated to have caused a breach of peace. They were alleged to have set ablaze the office of the New People's Party (NNPP) in Tudunwada local government area, where one Mohammed Sarkin Power and Aminu Malam Ahmadu, referred as first and second deceased, died in the unfortunate fire incident, while Buhari Rayyanu, Labaran Sule, Ahmed Sani, Mudassir Abdullahi, and Awal Garba, referred to as first, second, third, fourth, and fifth victims respectively, sustained various degrees of fire burns on their bodies. It was further alleged that the first suspect used firearm and shot one Dauda Ibrahim, who died of gunshot injury, referred here as third deceased, while Sani Bala and Umar Dauda, referred as first and second victims respectively, both sustained gunshot injuries on their leg and hand respectively. That the suspects also used knives and inflicted injuries on many other people. We gather from the case diary that the Inspector General of Police directed the Deputy Commissioner of Police Homicide Section to lead a team of detectives to Kano State for further investigation on 31st March 2023. As a result, this ministry was asked to return the case diary that was forwarded to us following the directives of the IGP by a letter dated 31st March 2023. The team left Kano to Tudunwada local government area, invited the victims, and recorded their statements. We also found statements of about 28 witnesses, ranging from APC and NNPP supporters, including those of police officers. The statement of the returning officer for Tudunwada, Doguwa Federal Constituency 1, Professor IA Yakasai was also recorded. Scenes of crime were visited at the INEC office, NNPP office, including APC office and graveyards where the deceased were buried, all in Tudunwada local government area of Kano State. Video coverage and photographs of the scenes and victims were also found in the case diary. Investigation further revealed that the distance between the NNPP office that was burned down and that of INEC office is approximately 300 meters. First and second deceased were buried on the very day of the incident without post-mortem examination. The third deceased person, who was alleged to have sustained bullet injury and said to have been referred to Almanat Clinic in Kano, where he died, was also buried by family and no autopsy was conducted. We found a letter in the case file requesting Almanat Clinic for report of the death of the third deceased person. Investigation activities, we found the statements of witnesses who gave statements during the first investigation carried out at CID and in the course of further investigation conducted by FCID. Further, in the course of investigation, medical reports in respect of 8 victims were obtained from Tudunwada General Hospital. The results were signed by one Dr. Abdul Aziz Abdul Mumini. From his conclusion, it is clear to us that he did not examine any of the victims, where he said he was informed by health personnel on duty when the victims were brought to the hospital, and that certain medical investigations were required which were not carried out. Thus, the medical assessment was not conclusive at all. The pistols in possession of the second and third suspects, who are aides of the first suspects, were sent to Lagos for ballistic examination. That the pistols and 30 rounds of live ammunition were recovered from them. The forensic analysis of the ballistician states that the Beretta pistols caliber with breech identification numbers as stated had 15 ammunitions in each, which were assigned to them. Thereafter, investigation reveals the ammunitions given to them were found intact. The police could not obtain the medical report of the third deceased person, who was alleged to have been shot from the private hospital that he was said to have been referred to for medical attention. Observations. 1. That there was political crisis in Tudunwada local government of Kano State on 26 February 2023 during the collation exercise of the general elections held on the 25th February 2023. 2. That there was a lot of chaos in the Tudunwada local government on that day, which resulted in loss of lives and others sustaining injuries and fire incidents. 3. That we came across so many statements of witnesses with a lot of discrepancies. Some witnesses stated that they saw the first suspects carrying then guns, while some said it was a pistol. We found exculpatory and inculpatory statements regarding the involvement of the first suspect in the offenses committed on the day of the incident. 5. We have seen sufficient evidence, including confessional statements and real evidence as contained in the case file, to conclude that NNPP supporters blocked the main road to prevent results from reaching the collation center. The 9th to 12th suspects confessed to have committed the offense. It is also clear that the first and second deceased persons were amongst the suspects that set the fire on the street. That the NNPP supporters blocked the road near their party office by burning tires, which extended into NNPP office and got it burned. As a result, the first and second deceased lost their lives and many got injured. 7. That the body of the third deceased who was alleged to have died of gunshots, who said before he died that he didn't know who shot him and said to have died in a private hospital, was not seen, and we did not find any medical evidence to conclude that there was a death of anybody who died of gunshot wounds. 8. That autopsy was not conducted on the remains of the deceased persons, even though there was a report certifying that the primary cause of death of the first and second deceased was third-degree burns. 9. That the medical reports regarding the injured persons who were treated and discharged show that they sustained various degrees of injuries, such as gunshot, burns, and fractures. However, the medical doctor that signed the report stated that he did not examine any of the victims. He only gave report based on what a staff on duty told him, and that they requested for some test and x-ray which will confirm whether indeed the wounds were caused by gunshots, but were not done, therefore making the medical assessments inconclusive. 10. That the second and third suspects were armed on the very day of the incidents with 2 Beretta pistols, each with 15 rounds of live ammunition, and the pistols were recovered and sent to Lagos for ballistic analysis. The ballistician gave a report that the pistols were found with 15 rounds of ammunition, meaning that they were intact and not fired, as against the allegations that the first suspect took the gun from them and used them. That no bullet or bullet shell was recovered at the scenes of crime, and no bullet was recovered from any of the injured persons alleged to have been shot by the first suspect. That we found sufficient evidence in the case file that NNPP supporters brought jerry cans of petrol into their office, and that those that died and others that sustained injuries were amongst those that put the fire on the main road. That one victim by name Labaran Sule stated that his friend, one Mukhtar, was at the scene when the first suspect was shooting him and cutting him with machete, and the statement of that witness, i.e. Mukhtar, was not taken.